What's up, besties?
It's time to spill the tea.
Welcome back to another episode of Voice
Voice
Messages.
messages.
Voice Messages. Okay, today's
Welcome.
this or that is, do you prefer workout classes or going to a gym? All
Workout
you,
classes
Joe.
all the way.
Okay.
Workout classes. I've tried the whole gym thing. I can't stay consistent. I need the accountability of a late fee if I'm gonna cancel. I also just like to be involved in like a group setting because I grew up as a dancer. And so I did like ballet dance, competitive dance. So like you're a part of like a group. It's like a group workout class essentially. Like
Yeah,
I've always just been a part of a group. So for me, it's like I like the accountability portion, but I also just like being a part of something bigger than just like going to the gym.
I agree. It's funny. I used to like the gym when like way back when. My mom and I
Oh,
actually
did
used to
you
go to the
actually?
gym. I did. I did. I will say me and my mom used to go to the gym all the time when I was in high school, and not like in a toxic way. It was like we just enjoyed like moving our bodies, whatever. But we always did actually, this is going to be funny because we're going into what I'm about to say is like I prefer workout classes. At the gym, we would always just do a workout class. So then, yeah, I just answered
Hmm.
my own question. I guess I've always preferred workout classes versus just going to the gym and trying to figure out my own like routine. Like, God bless everyone who can go into the gym and do like a actual routine that like benefits you, because I just sit there and I'm like, what am I doing? Oh, I have to do abs. I'll play on my
Right.
phone. I'll like roll
I'm the
around.
same
You know what
way.
I mean? Like there's just no way.
Roll
I need
around
the
like roly
yeah.
poly oly
I'm just rolling around on the ab
at the gym.
on the floor with
Woo.
doing my abs. I'm just like, all right, next, please. Get me something else.
That's funny.
Yeah, I definitely need accountability. I need a workout class. You know what? I need to start going back to workout classes though, because I haven't gone to like an actual workout class. Like, I don't even know in how long, because I just usually use my gym in my garage with like the
Mm.
Peloton. But like,
But you have the Peloton. That is like a group thing.
but it is nice to like have like physical
Other
people
people.
with you. Yeah. Like the
Yeah,
Peloton is
I get
great.
that.
I definitely take it for granted because I don't use it as much as I should. Um,
That's what everyone says.
but I just think because I'm a lazy bitch. Like that's just what I am.
It's hard,
Uh,
like working
it's
out from
just
home. Like the motivation, like it's just like, I could lounge on my couch right now. So that's why I'm like,
yes,
it's so hard for me to get into working out from home. I'd rather like go to a physical environment, but that's just me. So kind of like
I need to get back
segueing into
into.
today's
Yeah.
topic, we're going to talk about body image. So this is just like a quick trigger warning that we're going to talk a little bit about like body image, weight loss, dieting, kind of just like our experiences with, learning to be our most confident selves in like our body image journey. So if this episode triggers you, feel free to skip. But I feel like, there's going to be a lot of people that relate to us. So we wanted to kind of just like put this out there because I know that like Francesca and I talk about this a lot. Like body image is a constant up and down wave and it's a constant
Yeah.
struggle. So I think we're gonna start it off with like we're gonna give you guys kind of like a timeline of like our body image journey with starting off between like 2018 and 2020 and like where we were at with like our fitness body image journey.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. 2018. Actually, I might go even before a little. I might do like 2017,
Okay.
because 2017 was the year that I was getting married.
Oh,
And I
right.
remember, which, oh God, we have so much to like. I don't, I'm trying to stay within the topic and not go to like the next topic within this topic.
We had
So
to create
let
an
me,
outline, guys,
yeah,
because
we have
yeah,
so much to dive into on this topic.
so much.
So 2017 was definitely my start. I mean, I think I've always been into fitness in some way, like ever since I was in high school, like ninth grade. Again, like I just said, I was going to the gym with my mom. We were doing workout classes. I was just trying to stay fit, whatever. And then kind of fast
Yeah.
forward, 2017, I got into spin. I was heavily into spin classes. I started doing like a sweating for the wedding because I was getting married in 2017. So I was one of those
Right.
people who were sweating for the wedding. And I was going to spin, I'm not even joking, at least 5 times a week. And I was also going
Holy
at like 6
smokes.
a.m. in the morning, like a psycho. And that was for 3 months,
That's crazy.
strictly like right before my wedding. I was going religiously all the freaking time. And then kind of like transitioning into that, I still stuck around with spin classes, but then I was going more into Beachbody. That was like a major thing, 2018,
Good old beach
2019.
body.
I was really obsessed with those classes, but I was doing them at my house, right? At home workouts. Go get your at home workouts,
Hmm.
everybody. Oh my God, the fad.
Totally.
And then yeah, I feel like I kind of fell off. Like 2020, I was just trying to like work out outside or get like a walk in. Obviously, it was a weird year for all of us with the pandemic, and like working out was kind of, I don't know, it was like get outside, but also are we that motivated? It was like a weird time frame. And then
So
2021, I
weird.
kind of like fell off of the working out cycle. I got off of
Me
hormonal
too.
birth control, which is like a whole other thing. And I don't know, there was like a lot of changes with my body, and I just wasn't finding anything that I was like motivated enough to do. And I think I was also just fucking sick of trying to work out all the time to look a certain way. Like working out was a chore for me at that point.
Exactly.
It wasn't fun
Yeah.
anymore. So
I
that's
feel
kind of like
that.
a brief timeline.
I would say like 2018, I graduated college. I started doing Weight Watchers in 2019 because my mom was like, you gained a lot of weight in college. And now looking back, like I'm like, I didn't gain that much weight in college, but I joined Weight Watchers as many people did around like 2019 to 2021 or so. And
Culprit.
y
I
y
did too.
yeah, I mean, I'm not shaming you if Weight Watchers works for you and if that's the way you want to go, like good for you. But all I'm saying is you need to do it in a healthy way. Like if you're going to lose any sort of weight, you need to do it in a very healthy way. You need to make sure that you're eating enough food. When I did Weight Watchers, like I definitely was not eating enough. And I remember like I'd put in like my points in the app and I kind of like transitioned out of like Weight Watchers because there was multiple things. I was like starving myself and everything. But let me back up. So like 19 or so, I would like go to the gym regularly. I would walk, but I mostly like wasn't really moving my body that much as I am now. And I was
Yeah.
just basically starving myself. And I know that that's like really, really bad, but like I was like, I need to stay within my points. I need to stay within my points. I went to the weekly weigh-ins and like it was so weird thinking about it now, like going to a room full of people and weighing in and then talking about how much weight we lost. Like,
I
that's sick.
know. So toxic.
It's so toxic. Like, that's none of anyone's business. And again, if like you're on a weight loss journey, like you don't have to share that with anyone. If you are doing it, all I'm saying is do it the right way. And I definitely
Yeah.
wasn't. So it got to one point where I put like all my food in for Weight Watchers into like my Fitbit app because your Fitbit app actually, if you're trying to lose weight, which I do think that I think that there's pros and cons to the app, obviously, but I do think the Fitbit app does take into account how much you're burning. So it'll say
Yeah.
like you burn X amount of calories, you need to eat this amount to maintain or to lose a quarter pound a week or a half pound a week or whatever it is. And it'll tell you
Yeah.
like how much you have to eat. And so I thought that was really cool. So anyways, I put my food in and I figured out I was eating like 800 calories a day, which is nowhere near
Yeah.
the amount of
I would
calories
never
that anyone
survive.
needs. I I was like, what am I doing to my body? And so 2020, I was still very much into Weight Watchers. I was doing it like remotely with my mom and like
Yeah.
logging in and talking about like my scale from home. It was like
Yep.
ridiculous.
Actually, I think
And
that's
then
when I was doing Weight Watchers was 2020 because I actually never went into like a physical like Weight Watchers place and did like that kind of weigh in.
I
I did it
think
through like
they had
Zoom
like a
or whatever.
special. Yeah, they had
Okay.
like a special. It was like
Yeah.
$5 to join remotely because they were fucking desperate. And
Yeah.
so I would log in, and then eventually I was like, this is ridiculous. But I was like, my fiance and I at the time, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, we would go on like 2 or 3 mile walks a day. Like we would walk for like an hour and a half, and I was in really good shape. Like I hiked a fucking mountain. I would never hike that mountain now. I'm like,
Yeah.
absolutely not. I look back on it, I'm like, no way. I was in really good shape. I wouldn't say it's interesting though. I look back and like when I say I was in good shape, I was just skinny. I wasn't
Yeah.
muscular. I didn't have any muscle to me. I was just skinny. And I think that that's the biggest difference is that like I look back on it and I was like I wasn't fucking in shape. Like I was just
Yeah.
skinny and like there's a huge
Yeah.
difference. Anyways, 2021, I ended up cold turkey, like quitting Weight Watchers. And then I slowly just like quit dieting altogether. And during that time, I also just like, I was like, fuck the gym. I'm done. Because same thing that you said is like, I had such a negative connotation of the gym, like the gym equals weight loss. And
Yeah.
I lost like all of my joy when it came to working out. And so I just like, I quit cold turkey. I didn't do anything for about a year. And then it wasn't until I would say last year, 2022. So it was like a year and a half with like no working out, maybe just a few walks here
Yep.
and there and no dieting. And then last year of 2022 in like August, like I decided to start going to spin. And I only went like once a week. And then I increased it to twice a week. And now sometimes I go 3 times a week. But I do it not because I'm trying to lose weight, because I actually like going. And that's
Yeah.
the biggest difference.
Yeah.
So
Which I love.
that's my
Timeline.
brief timeline. So like 2021, let's start there. Like life goes back to normal and diet
Kind
culture.
of
I
goes
just feel
back
like
to
it was like a
normal.
kind of. I feel like diet culture, like it had like a giant crash in 2021. Like everyone was
Yeah.
like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Which I never really, which again, so disclaimer, right? Like Joe and I are specifically just talking about our own specific, things that we've gone through with body image and diets and weight. And like none of this is meant to be anything like what we're telling you to do, what we're telling you not to do. Like you have to do what's best for you. I just want to put like that
Exactly.
little disclaimer out there just in case, because I know like we're going to start to get into like heavier topics. So
Yeah.
just a disclaimer. Um, but the diet culture, okay, so it's fun. It's not funny. It's interesting, I should say. I have never been someone who has been like a culprit of the diet culture. I have never had a problem with like food or eating. I'm very much so. I eat what I want. I eat when I want. I'm like intuitive like that. I can't do calorie
Hmm.
counting. It really fucking stresses me out. If I am like counting my food, if I'm weighing my food, if I'm doing anything that has to do with like calories or counting or whatever, I actually get more stressed out and it just I like go
Yeah.
down the deep end or whatever. But then with Weight Watchers, I did that in 2020 and I probably only did it for like a couple of months. I don't think I actually stuck with it for that long. But the point system was definitely a little bit easier than like counting calories for me, but it still was so much work to have to like look at your food and be like, okay, I
Oh
can
my
eat
God.
this, I can eat that, but I can't eat this, but I can't eat that. Like it just took
And
the
they had
joy out
all
of
the
it for
plan
me.
options too.
Yeah, like I can't plan that far ahead. I'm not eating junk food 24/7. Obviously, I'm like trying to be as healthy as possible, but the diet culture for me, I'm like it is just it's just blown out of proportion. I mean, it has gone so far with social media nowadays, and I feel like it's even worse
Yeah.
as like even just like a young woman. Like, I mean, not that this doesn't relate to men, but obviously we're just speaking specifically like from our experiences as women, and we're just targeted so much at such a young age with diet
All the
culture,
time.
which I feel like you can kind of segue into because I know that you were like you've like learned to let go. You definitely were kind of like a culprit of the diet culture back then and like struggled
Oh
with that
yeah.
kind of thing. And so maybe we can like segue into that for you, like share your experience on that.
Yeah, so like major trigger warning, gonna talk about like weight and calories real quick. My like freshman year of high school, I was like trying to lose weight because my senior year of high school, hold on, wait, freshman year of college, sorry, freshman year of college, I was trying to lose weight because my senior year of high school, I had gained a little bit of weight, which was like 10 pounds because I had like a hip surgery due to an injury from ballet, and I was trying to lose weight. And I remember like I wouldn't eat in the dining hall. I basically ate in my room for all my meals because I was so fixated that like I needed to be skinny to fit in. I was the lowest weight I ever was in my entire life at that point. And I look back at pictures and I'm like, wow, like I was so not healthy. Like my hair stopped growing, my nails stopped growing. Like I don't really know why I did that to myself. I was eating, but I wasn't eating enough. And I was probably eating like 800 calories a day, like really below average.
Hmm.
And it impacted my whole social life. Like I wouldn't go out places if I didn't know the food situation. I wouldn't go out for ice cream. I wouldn't do anything if it like would impact the number on the scale. Like I put so much worth into the number on the scale. And so I kind of like, I did that for a hot minute. I lost a bunch of weight. I gained it back. And then I went back through the cycle again after college when I gained back the weight and I joined Weight Watchers and I lost a bunch of weight. And what happened? I quit and I gained it back. And
Hmm.
so I've kind of just been through the cycle. And this last time around, I was just like, fuck this. I'm not doing this again. I have been up and down constantly on diets, whether it's like my fitness pal, which fuck you, my fitness pal.
Yeah, fuck you, my
Um,
fitness pal. I hate
Weight
that fucking app.
Watchers, that app is so toxic. It's
Oh,
like the Noom ads, like there's so
oh,
much. And I
yes.
was just like, I'm done. And so for me to like go from like dieting all the time to not has been really, really hard. And like with me with my wedding, like I feel like people have, I don't know, like they feel like they can comment on my body and be like, are you losing weight? Like, are you shredding for the wedding?
Yeah,
And I'm like, I've been telling people, I'm like, no, like I'm not. I am working out more because I'm actually like really liking it. Like I feel mentally and physically better when I go on a daily walk and
yeah,
when I'm going to spin 2 or 3 times a week. And I go to spin because I just like to. And even on the days I don't really feel like spinning, like I just don't go on the leaderboard. I don't compete, but I just show up to be with other people. And it's
totally.
just very, very different. I was not in this mindset a few years ago. And to go from a place where I was eating 800 calories to now intuitively eating, I mean, like I said, it took me 3 years to really unwind 20 something years of damage from diet
Yeah,
culture. Three
yeah,
whole years. I mean, I know, like, I mean, it could have taken me longer, but like 3 whole years to unwire my brain and be like, you can have ice cream. Like, for example, last night, I kind of went on a spiral because I got like a tooth extraction and my mouth's been killing me. And so my fiance was like, I'll buy you a milkshake from McDonald's. I'm like, oh, like, I haven't been really working out the last 2 days. I feel fat. And he's just like, Joe, like, having a milkshake isn't going to make you lose weight.
yeah,
And toxic me stepped on the scale this morning. I mean, isn't going to make you gain weight if I'm having a milkshake. Sorry, I messed that up. And I toxic me stepped on the scale this morning, and guess what? It didn't make me gain weight. And like that just goes to show that like I need to learn to trust my body. But it's like sometimes I still catch myself like going back into those old habits. And
yeah,
it's just like the cycle. But I haven't gone into a full blown diet since like 2021. And I'm really fucking proud of myself. But like there was times where I was like I would start to dabble again and then I would stop. But like it's been like no diet. It's mostly
yeah,
just like I'm just focusing on my movement and how my body feels. But I've been through a lot. Like I was at my lowest weight ever. Also, when I was at my lowest weight ever, my freshman year of high school, college, oh my God, college, my sophomore year of college, I ended up getting my gallbladder taken out and I was hospitalized and I had pancreatitis and I lost even more weight. And then after that hospitalization, I continued to diet. So like
yeah,
I was like really, really beyond skinny and like to the point where like unhealthy. I look back and I'm like, I feel so sad for her.
yeah.
Um, but I'm
Diet
so
culture
glad
is
I'm
so
past
toxic.
that point in my life. Anyways, that's like the long story short and how like, I kind of just like went in and out of fad diets. And I feel like so many other women have experienced that. And it's like eventually you'll get to the point where you just need to like cave in and listen to
Yeah,
your body and be like, I can't do this anymore. And now I've like accepted that like this is where my body wants to be at.
yeah, yeah. Which is, I think, the most important. I mean, listen, diet culture, body shaming, body image, specifically around women is so hard because we are we're just it's too much technology around us, social media, technology, like all of the above. It just shows us what we think perfect is supposed to be, how you're supposed to look, and if you don't look a certain way then you are body shamed, and not necessarily always by other people, but it's like that internal dialogue within ourselves, like I'm
Oh,
not good enough,
totally.
I don't look like this, I don't look like the model in the picture, I don't look like the model who's wearing the bathing suit that I just bought,
Which,
and then you go to put it on
which by
yourself
the
and you're like,
way,
this doesn't look like me.
In which, by
I
the
want
way,
that.
all the influencers that I follow, like so many of them have recently come out and said, like, yeah, guys, like I've had a nose like surgery. I've had my like fat in my cheekbones removed. Like so many more
Yeah.
influencers are now coming forward and being like, what you see isn't real. Like I've had all brand new teeth put in. Like, and I feel like more and more like people are being more honest about like, yeah, I've had work done. That's the way I look like I do. Like
Yeah.
I'm not, this isn't real. And I think
Which
that
is
that's
also
really,
okay,
it's okay. I
just
think
be
like
open
you,
about it.
I think there's a line, like it's like if you want to do something to make yourself more confident, like go for it. Like for me, like I had this tooth here. It was like yellow growing up because it was like stained from a fever. And so I got like a fake tooth put over it. And again, like it really boosted my confidence. And I don't like hide it or anything, but I think like there is a point of responsibility when you are a big influencer or you are a celebrity and you have millions of girls following you that you need to be like, listen, what you're looking at like isn't real. I
Yeah.
think that there needs to be I think they need to be held responsible because people look at like the Kardashians or whatever and they just think it's all natural. And
And it's
it's
not.
not. It's
Which
not.
again, and like
We
the
need to
way
be more
that,
transparent.
yeah, I agree. Especially like you said, if you are a big time influencer who has, like you said, millions of followers, like people are following you for your, content and the way that you look or the way that you dress or whatever. It's just like, it's fine that you do these things. I don't care how
Yeah.
you alter your body. Like, if that makes you happy, then that is amazing. More power to you. But don't make it sound like that's the norm for how every person's body should look and be.
Oh, I agree.
Because it's just not accurate. It's not right. Um,
I
which kind of
agree.
segues into what I was just thinking about this the other day is like, I have, which I'm sure that you've done this too, because you kind of just brought this up, but when I was like like looking back like old wedding photos and stuff, I weighed, which again, trigger warning, we're talking about weight and numbers. But I weighed 122 pounds on my wedding, right? Which was 6 years ago. But I can distinctly like remember like conversations that I was having in my head about like, oh my God, my stomach looks too fat, my arms are too this. Like, but when I look back at it now, I'm like, girl, what I
You were
would give
stunning and you
to
are
go look
stunning.
like that again. Like, and not to say that I don't love my body now. I mean, it's a love hate relationship all the time,
We
but
all do this.
it's crazy though, because like, no matter at what point in my life, whether it was like when I was my lowest weight, my middle weight, my higher weight, like I can always remember me always thinking to myself, oh, I don't look that good. My stomach doesn't look flat enough. And then you look back now and you're like, holy shit, who was I looking at? Because who I'm looking at now
I
is
I
crazy. It's
agree.
just
I
crazy to me.
s- I saw a quote the other day that said, like, your current self is your most beautiful version of yourself that you'll ever be. And it was like 20 years from now, you're going to look back at your current self and say that you're so beautiful and that, like,
I
you
love
wish
that.
you looked like you did now. And I think that, like, I think there's two things to that. One, I think aging is a beautiful thing and it's a fucking privilege. It's a fucking privilege to get old. It's a fucking privilege to
Yeah.
get gray hairs. It's a beautiful thing to age. But I also think that it's just perspective that, like, 20 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, oh my God, 28-year-old me, like I was hot shit. Like, look
Yeah.
at me in this
I
wedding
know.
dress. Look at me. I was a hot, sexy babe. Like,
Yep.
I would eat myself up any day. I would, you know what I'm saying? Like, Nick
Yeah.
Jonas will be coming for me on my wedding day. That's how confident that I think I'll be in like 20 years looking back on my wedding day, right?
Yeah.
And
Love
it's
that for
just like
you.
it's just perspective. And I do think that like aging is a privilege. So I think that there's two sides to that. But I think it's just interesting to think about like, like even 5 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, what was I thinking?
I know.
Especially like after we have kids and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's like, why are you not enjoying your body as it is right
Yes.
now? Um,
Yes.
there's so much to that. And so I kind of want to go back to like how I was talking about like old habits and whatnot. I think it was around like when did you get off birth control? Was it like
Okay. So I
2020?
2021. Yeah. Okay. So my journey with my body image has been different in terms of that. Like I said before, I've never had an issue with food, diet culture. Like that was never my problem area. It was just always the way that I looked. Like my stomach has always been my biggest insecurity. Just like the little like pouch that I have. Like the rest of my body is great. I love it, whatever. But that was like always my biggest insecurity. And so when I was on birth control for 10 years. I got on birth control probably when I was like 16 or 17 years old. And it was like the norm back then,
Same,
right? You didn't really think about
same.
it. It was like
I'm still on
you
it.
want to have less periods, you want to have no acne, you don't want to get pregnant, like go on birth control. So I was on the pill for 6 years and then I had transitioned to the IUD because the pill just, it was a hassle for me to take it all the time, to remember it, whatever. Went on to the
Mhm.
IUD and I got the IUD right after my wedding, right? So I was about 123, 22 pounds. Right after my wedding, I got on the IUD. And every year, and that was back in 2017. And I was finding myself, so what was that? So 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, 4 years I was on the IUD. So I was finding myself gaining weight every year at my gynecologist appointment when I would go in and get like a regular checkup. I was gaining almost like 10 pounds. I'm not even exaggerating, like between 8 to 10 pounds a year. And at
Yeah.
first I was like, okay, like I didn't really think anything of it. It wasn't like anything drastic that it was just like boom, all of a sudden it was like the weight was coming on. But I felt like
Mm,
around like the second to like third year of being on the IUD, like which was probably around 2019, because I think that's when I kind of started Beachbody again. Yeah, 2019 I was like starting Beachbody. I just was really getting uncomfortable in my own skin. And when I
yeah,
had brought it up to my doctor a couple of times, I'm like, listen, I feel like I'm gaining weight every time that I come here. I haven't changed my diet. Like, I'm trying to work out consistently. I feel like I should be getting off of birth control. Like, I don't love it for myself. And at the time, the doctor that I had was just like, no, 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 that's not it. It's not birth control. Like, you have to figure out whatever. The doctor just like wasn't advocating for me. Long story short, finally got off of birth control in 2021, January of 2021. Best decision I ever freaking made, which maybe we could do a different podcast about hormonal birth
on
control because I
birth
feel like I could
control.
be here
Yeah,
for hours. But when I finally got off of birth control, I think I was weighing around like 155 pounds. So that was like 30 pounds that I had gained over the past, what, like 4 years or so. Um,
yeah,
and that was the heaviest that I've ever been. But I will say, after getting off of hormonal birth control, I have maintained that same number. What, 2 years later now? What is it, 2023? So I've been off of birth control for, yeah, almost 3 years I've been off of birth control. And I just find it interesting because, yes, do I want to be a little bit skinnier? Do I want to lose weight? Do I want to lose the little pouch that I have? Yeah, I fucking do. But I will say at the end of the day, like, I'm much happier. I feel more confident in my body. I know that this is like a healthy weight for my body, and like this is just where my body is meant to be. And I don't want to view fitness and like working out anymore as a hassle, a chore. I want to view it
yeah.
as like
I
it's a
agree.
privilege. I can walk every day. I can move my body. Not everyone gets to say that. And
Wait,
I'm trying to change my
my
perspective on that.
my spin instructor says it all the time. She's like, it's a privilege to be able to move your body.
Yeah.
And she's like, not
Which we
everyone
take
can
for
do this.
granted
And
every
she
day.
said, it doesn't mean that, some days you're just not feeling good, but just like showing up for yourself and moving your body in some sort of way is great. But other days she's like, push yourself because you won't be able to do this forever, maybe.
Yeah.
You don't know what will happen. And also not everyone can move their body. But that's interesting. I wonder, like, with the whole birth control thing, like, was it like the stress that the IUD put your body under, which caused the weight gain?
I honestly have no idea. I could not even tell you because like my doctor never helped me with it. I ended up getting a new doctor after that. He took the IUD out, which it was also a guy doctor. And so like men just they
I don't
really
love
don't
that.
fully
They don't have
understand
a uterus.
women's
They don't get it.
bodies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I mean, I think it was probably a combination of like stressing about gaining weight, stressing about the IUD, like having hormonal birth control, like having something inside of my body was really stressing me out. I don't know. I kind of like
Yeah.
flipped a switch. I do want to say though, the one thing that I have really like that has helped me kind of change the narrative around fitness is so I'm no longer on hormonal birth control, right? And so when you're off of hormonal birth control, you have like your 4 actual cycles. Because when you're on hormonal birth control, you don't ovulate anymore. So you're technically not really like on like you're cycling, but it's not as in depth as if you were to just come off of hormonal birth control. And again, I'm not a doctor, so like don't take my word for anything. It's just research that I've done for myself. And so it's interesting because as a woman, we go through 4 phases of our cycle, right? So we go through the
Hmm.
menstrual phase, follicular, ovulatory, and then the luteal phase. And every phase, your body is meant to be doing something different in terms of working out. You're not meant to be doing a fucking hit workout every single day of your cycle. You're not meant to be like going crazy, balls to the wall, fucking let's go get this, workout in for 2 hours at the gym and like kill ourselves. Walking is great, yoga is great, Pilates is great. And I have found that now that I'm all like putting my, specific like fitness workouts to my cycle,
Like
I don't feel
aligning it with your cycle.
yeah, I don't feel as stressed as I once felt before because I always felt like if I'm not doing something crazy like a hit workout, then I'm failing at my
Like
workout.
all or
I'm not getting a
nothing
good one.
mindset.
Yes, which I fucking
Yeah.
hate that mindset. I hate
I
it.
I've recently, like, I don't sync my workouts to my cycle. I know I probably should. I also am still on hormonal birth control because I right now I'm just like riding it out until after the wedding. So like I don't want to make any major changes. I don't want to go through any
Yeah,
sort of medical issues right now.
which is
I also
smart.
do not want to get pregnant. I'm just gonna wait it
Imagine.
out. I'm sure like a year and a half from now, I'll have a much different perspective, but like I'm on one that is pretty low in hormones, based on like my other medicines that I'm on. And I do like regularly still get my period based on the hormonal birth control that I am on. Like I literally get it at like Thursday, like 4 p.m. and then it ends like Sunday at like 9 p.m. It is so
I love that.
scheduled. And even when I like forget to like take a pill, like it's here, it's on. So I'm very, very like in tune, and I don't think that I'll have any trouble. Like, so say if I like take an extra week because I don't want to get my period, it'll automatically pick up that next Thursday. Like my
Yeah.
body just knows. I don't feel like I'm gonna have too many issues just seeing how like regular I am, but it's been interesting. I think that switching to the cup has also helped with like my bloating, which
Yeah.
also relates to body image. But going back to like the working out thing, I have recently found like so much love for walking, and I've always like loved to walk, like walk long distances. And like for a while, like especially during the pandemic, like I was putting all this pressure on myself to go and fucking run.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Who did
Fuck running.
who did I think I was? I hate running. I literally,
Same.
you cannot catch me. I would rather, if I go to the gym, like I would rather walk on the treadmill on incline and watch a show.
Yes.
Like when I walk my dog, I like usually voice message you, or
Yeah.
I'm calling someone, or you know what I mean? Like I love walking because also when I walk, like I call people, I like, I can do other things when I walk, but
Yeah.
like I don't, and I find that walking has really greatly helped me. So during the past like 6 months, I started walking 10K steps because I'm like, I'm gonna do this thing. My body was literally telling me the past 6 months, like, I'm in fucking pain. I sit all day at my job and I need to like start moving my body more. And so I
Yeah.
started to slowly get into 10K steps a day. But I wasn't like, this is all or nothing, right? So I started in like August and I would do like 2 days a week. And then in September, 3 days a week. October, I got up to 4 days a week, and now I'm trying to get it up to 5 days, which I still think I'm gonna be more at like 4.5 days. But
Yeah.
I'm like slowly like adding on to it, and I think that's kind of like goes back to the whole like all or nothing. Like moving your
Yeah.
body doesn't have to be all or nothing, and like you can meet your body where it's at that day. And if your body feels like you can't do something, like I got this dental implant, I couldn't go to spin last night. Just because I didn't go to spin last night doesn't mean I'm not going to gain. Doesn't mean I'm going to gain weight. Doesn't mean I'm
Yeah.
going to lose my muscle.
And the number on the
I can
scale
take a break.
sucks. Fuck the number on the scale, by the way. Just had to
The
throw that
number
out
on
there.
the scale sucks. And so, kind of going back to that as well. So since I've been like really working out a lot because I've been enjoying it, I did step on the scale like recently, and I had, trigger warning, I lost weight. But I wasn't like, I haven't been like dieting or anything like that. I think a lot of it is just due to like the fact that like I'm moving my body more. I'm getting 10K steps and going to spin 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Um, But it's interesting because when I was putting so much emphasis on trying to lose weight, I wouldn't lose weight.
Yeah. No, I love that perspective because, again, the all or nothing mindset, I have had that forever and ever. And it's like, oh, if I don't start on a Monday, then fuck it. We're going to start the next Monday, right? Like if I
Right.
skip a day, if I
The
miss
Monday
something,
reset.
yeah, like I
Fuck
had that
it.
all or nothing mindset. Also, I was a big culprit of if I did not wear my I have an Apple Watch. I've had it for years, right? But I haven't worn it in months because I used to have the mindset that if
Mm,
I was not wearing my Apple Watch and like using it to record my workout, then the workout didn't count. How fucking ridiculous does that sound? Like
I
the
know.
other
I'm kind
day,
of that way right now.
okay, so let me just say, I have an Aura ring, right? So this Aura ring is what I like to use because it tracks my hormonal cycle, it tracks my activity, it actually tracks my steps, it tracks, fucking my
Oh, I didn't know
readiness,
that.
my sleep. Yeah, so this is like this it still tracks activity, it tracks my heart rate. It tells me like my readiness score for the day, like how many steps should I do, blah blah blah, whatever.
Oh,
But I
cute.
feel
I love
like
that.
the Apple Watch was so fucking toxic because even the other day when I got on the Peloton and I was like talking to you, whatever, I forgot my Apple Watch. And do you know that I almost did not do the fucking Peloton workout because I was going to go get the Apple Watch in my house. And then I was like, no, 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 we're not doing that. Still went through with the workout, didn't use the Apple Watch. But that's how toxic my all or nothing like mindset has been.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been really trying to like switch the narrative because I do love walking. I love walking around the lake. You get 7,000 steps in. It's like automatic and I feel good after. It's not even about losing weight for me, I just want to feel fucking good. I want to wake up and feel
Yeah,
good in my body. I don't want aches and pains. I don't want a shitty mindset. I don't want to feel negative. I don't want to feel
I
tired.
agree.
I want to feel rejuvenated. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah. I know, and I know. I feel like my shift, like, I went from cold turkey, like quitting every single workout possible to slowly, like, I
Yeah.
just started doing walks and I slowly started increasing it, slowly started increasing cycle. And now I'm at a space where, like, if I don't move my body, like, even just a quick walk, like 5, 10 minute walk a day, I don't
Yeah.
feel the best version of myself. Like, I literally, like, will get extremely constipated. I'll even get
Yeah.
headaches. I'll get back pain. Like, I need to move my body. And I've
Yeah.
gotten to that space and it's really, it's, so like when I'm saying like, oh, I need to go for a walk, it's not because I'm like, oh, I'm fat. Like that's why I need
Yeah.
to go for a walk. It's like because I feel like better. And
Yep.
also talking about the word fat. I mean, the word fat, it shouldn't be such an insult. I understand, like, we all have fat, we
Yeah.
all have body fat. And I think that to have fat is to also be a privilege, to, be a certain, to be healthy enough or to have access to food. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's some people that have genetic, reasons why they have more fat than other people. But I just feel like there's such a negative connotation around the word fat. And it's like, dude, we
Yeah.
all need fat to survive.
True. 100%. Yeah, like you don't need flat stomach, you don't need six-pack abs, you don't need lean, like this whole thing. I think again it just goes back to like why. I mean, I've definitely gotten more confident, right, in over the past 2 years with like being in a bathing suit. I've never been the person who like would never wear a two-piece bathing suit because I've never had like the perfect body.
Same.
I don't feel that
I always wore it.
uncomfortable, but like it's not that I feel uncomfortable with like being around other people. It's just it's the inner like dialogue within myself when I put on a bathing suit and I'm like, "Oh my God, my stomach,
Like
it's
what
so
like
bloated."
what did they see?
Yeah, like what are
Yeah,
they looking at? Like I don't love how this looks, right? But like it doesn't stop me, which again is probably a privilege to say because I know that there's a lot of women out there who struggle with like who haven't put on a bathing suit in like years, right? Because they
I
just don't
know.
feel confident, which makes me so sad
Makes me so
and
sad.
so fucked with the fucking society and the culture and oh my God. We could just rant about that forever, but I think that we just have to like appreciate where our body is at right now because sometimes like your body is just naturally a little bit bigger than you
Comfortable.
once were and like wherever your body is comfortable at
Yeah.
like I have been within the range of like 155 to 160 pounds over these past couple of years and like I'm just accepting that that's where my body is at. I'm not going out and
Yeah.
exercising because I'm trying to lose 30 pounds because newsflash, losing 30 pounds, how the fuck is that maintainable for the next 100
It's
years that I'm going to be on this earth? Like, it's
it's not.
not
And
attainable forever.
I've become very comfortable with my weight. Like I said, like I stepped on the scale recently. I did lose weight, but the weight that I lost, I've been at that weight consistently for the past like 6 months or so. And I feel fucking comfortable. I'm still eating. I ate Halloween candy. I had a milkshake this week. I'm eating pizza. Like I'm not limiting myself. And
Yeah.
I like by losing diet culture, I have gained so many privileges in my life. Like I've lost the shame around eating pizza. I've lost the shame around eating pasta. I lose the expectations of society and their norms. Like I just feel so much better when I'm like fueling my body with food that I like. And like
Yeah.
I know that I'm a little bit heavier than I was in high school, but also in high school, my body was I was a teenager. I am at
Yeah.
childbearing age. My hips are getting wider. I'm holding on to fat where I normally wouldn't. But it is what it is. I think, like I said, it's a privilege to age. And I think it just goes back to like, when is enough enough? Like, how do we
Yeah.
feel? Like, when will we ever feel like we're good enough?
Oh, yeah. No, for real. I I want to I feel like I'm getting closer to that feeling, but I'm definitely not 100% there. Which I can
Yeah,
confidently say and like openly say, but like I feel like I'm actively trying to switch my perspective and like change my mindset about working out and fitness and the way that my body looks and just appreciating my body for what it is right now in this moment instead of thinking so far out into the future. It's kind of like that timeline situation that we've talked about before. It's like if you can't enjoy where you're at right now, how are you ever going to enjoy like the journey getting to like the destination, right? I don't want to think
right.
about, oh, when I'm 10 pounds lighter, I can do X, Y, and Z, or when I'm 10 pounds lighter, I look so good in a bathing suit. Like, no, we're always going to have our off days. We're always going to have our great days. I don't want to think about my body anymore as this, like, when I lose
It's
X amount of pounds, then I will feel
same.
X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm so fucking sick of feeling like that. I just want to be in my body. I just want to be in my body. I want to feel
And
comfortable. I want to feel confident. Is that too much to ask?
and our body is like my weight is the least interesting thing about me. I have
Yeah,
so much
100%.
more to offer than just the number on the scale. And I know that my body, like I go like during stressful seasons of my life, like I've gained weight. And I know that about myself and I'm okay with that because with like gaining weight, I also like gained new experiences. Like moving across
Yeah.
the country, I gained weight, but I was also going through a very stressful time, but I gained new experiences. We were trying new yummy foods. We were enjoying our first home together. Like these are all experiences that I wouldn't have gained if I didn't lose diet culture.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, my body might go up and down between 10 and 15 pounds, but I'm okay with that because my life is up and down. My life isn't all just sunshine and rainbows. I don't have a million hours in a day to constantly work out. Sometimes I'll go through something medically where I can't work out, and that's okay too. Or I'll go through something super stressful. And I know that about my body. I recognize that. And instead of like waiting to fit into clothes now, because I'm like, oh, like I need to be skinny to wear this, I just buy new fucking clothes.
Yeah, just throw
And
out the
at this
clothes.
point in my
Throw
life,
them out.
I've I've
Donate
gotten to the
them.
point where like I'm keeping like I recently went bra shopping and I was like I've gotten to the point where I'm keeping my old bras and then like I have my new bras so that like when my boobs change sizes, we got all the goods. We're ready.
Yeah.
We're ready to go. Matt was
Yeah.
like, "Why do you have so many bras?" I'm like, "Well, there's like four
You
different
just don't
sizes in this
understand.
drawer because between you just don't know you just don't know what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
you
Some
don't
days
know.
and then some days when you're on your period, you're like, holy shit, am I a double D? Like what's going on? So, you know,
Literally. That's like what I'm
I'm
saying.
like,
Your body fluctuates as a woman all the time, especially going through the
all the
four
time.
phases. Like when I'm in like the follicular ovulatory phase, I'm like, wow, I look fucking amazing. I feel great. My body
Same.
feels amazing. Like I love that. And then I'm in my like luteal menstrual phase and I'm like, oh my God, I feel bloated. I want to eat a little bit more. But honestly, I have leaned into that so much. Like, okay, quick little example here. Not even an example. This just happened the other day. I went to the food store the other day, grocery store, whatever. I'm currently in my menstrual phase, and I was like, wow, I like really want fucking Chunky Monkey Ben and Jerry's ice cream. And
What?
do you know Chunky Monkey? Oh, the flavor of Ben and
I've
Jerry's. Oh my
never
God,
had it.
it's so good. It is so good. It's like chocolate covered bananas, and oh my God, I'm gonna go have some after this podcast. But anyways, I almost didn't get the goddamn ice cream because I was like, no, I shouldn't be having that much ice cream and chocolate and like whatever. But then I was like, fuck that. I'm in my menstrual
Fuck it.
phase. I want some motherfucking chocolate. It's going to make me feel better. It's not going to kill me. I'm not
Right.
going to go add 5 pounds, right? Just because I'm having a little bit of ice cream. And I ate that ice cream last night and it was so damn good.
As you
And
should.
I just love that for me. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck anymore.
And I think that
I'm
goes
just
back
trying
to
to
just
live.
like learning to trust our bodies. Like our bodies are telling us where we're supposed to be. Like
Yeah.
you said, like after you got off birth control, you've kind of been in like the set range. I've been in the set range kind of since like I quit diet culture and I started working out. Like I've been within the same like 10 pounds, which is also interesting because I was looking back at photos and I was like, wow, like I look so much different than I was like 6 months ago. But 6 months ago, I was the same exact weight that I am now. So
Yeah.
again, just goes to show that the scale is
The
trash.
number doesn't matter.
I've gained muscle and I'm so proud of myself. I used to be so ashamed to like be muscular or gain muscle. And I'm just trusting my body where it's at. Like if I'm in the phase where I'm gaining muscle because I'm eating
Yeah.
that, I'm eating enough food now finally,
Yeah.
and my hair is finally healthy. Like I'm so proud of myself. And I used to be so ashamed to gain muscle and be strong, but like now I think it's so cool. So I'm just like I'm leaning into that, and like the scale and the number is trash, and I think that you just need to like learn to get to a point where you like feel confident in trusting your body. Like your body will tell you like where you should be, like
Yes.
what
And
your
what it
comfortable weight
needs.
is at.
Yeah.
And for me, like I saw like some TikTok on that a while ago, and she explained like your body like tells you where like your body there's like a set weight where it's comfortable at.
Yep.
And I know you can like manipulate that and whatnot, but it's like, do I really want to fight that my whole fucking life? No.
No, that's the thing though. Like, we don't want to be doing this for the next 50 fucking years. I don't want to be like 60 years old and still worrying about my weight, still thinking about it. I just don't want to do that.
Absolutely not.
And kind of going back to like what you had said earlier, where you're like, our weight is the least interesting thing about us. I think like when it comes to weight and like how I look, it's, or maybe anyone can like relate to this perspective, is like we're so concerned with maybe like other people and what they think about us, when that's probably the last thing that they're actually thinking about. Like when someone looks at us,
Right.
they're probably not like, wow, that bitch, like she looks like she could lose a couple pounds. Like, do you know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's just the inner dialogue in our minds that like we're making shit up in our head. And I don't want to actually wait. Let me just retract that a little bit, because I'm sure that there are people out there who do actually body shame people, and if you're going through
Totally.
that, like fucking horrible, and I hate that for you, and like just give me a name and a number and I will be there to like
Yeah, we'll come
fuck
at
shit up,
them.
because you should never body shame someone. Like if you're bullying someone, especially like women, around their weight, and someone's
You
doing
never
that
know
to
what someone's
you,
going through.
I fucking hate that shit. But in
It bothers
general,
me.
most of
Right.
the
Like you
time
don't
it's
go up
the
to your
inner,
friend.
yeah, I'm not going like up to you and be like, Joe, you should probably lose like 20 pounds before your wedding. Like,
And when
no.
if someone were to ask me like how I describe Francesca, I wouldn't describe her as her weight.
Yeah,
Like I would
exactly.
say that she is my best friend. She's kind, she's outgoing. Like when you describe your friends, are you saying like, oh yeah, she's a fat shit?
Yeah,
Like
and if
like
you are,
but
then you're
you
not
would
the right friend.
like would you would never do that. So why would you do that? Why would you say something like that about yourself? Like no
Yes, I
one
love
that
that.
loves you is saying like, yeah, that's how she describes me, a fat shit. Like
Yeah,
that's absolutely ridiculous. So I think it's just like, going back to like trusting your body, trusting where you're at and feeling confident and comfortable and just like the body that you're supposed to be in and
yeah.
letting
Love
go of
yourself.
the pressure of,
Social
did my
media.
headphones just die?
No, I can still hear you.
Oh, okay. It sounded like they just turned off.
Oh, maybe they turned off, but I can still hear you because obviously you're still talking.
Okay, I got panicked for a second. It went boop boop. So anyways, that's where I'm kind of at. Trust your body
Yeah.
and try to not get so wound up in like diet
And
culture
the
anymore.
number, the diet culture. Yeah. I think like my last kind of final thoughts for anyone who's listening thus far is to just like love yourself first. Life is too short to be worrying about what your body looks like. Of course, if you don't love something, you can definitely work towards it to get yourself to like where you want to be and feeling confident, but don't try to go and just like lose 30 pounds tomorrow and just do all of these like diet cultures and these fads and starving yourself, and don't do something just because the internet is putting it out there, making you think that that's what you have to do. Like Joe said, be intuitive, listen to your body, go with your gut, just love yourself in this moment. Like, give yourself a hug. Give yourself a fucking hug. Like, you are so incredible and you are doing so great and you are going to one day feel amazing. And like, don't think that you're too far behind. Just because you're not feeling amazing right now, like don't think that you can't get to that point eventually. Especially to like all the younger girls and like that generation. Just you're amazing and beautifully talented the way that you are. Do not think otherwise. Because if anything, I have definitely put way too much pressure in my 20s all around body image and like the way that I looked, the way that I feel. And if I could go back and kind of take that away, I would, because going into my 30s, like who the fuck cares what I look like? As long as I love myself, that's all that matters. It's my little perspective for you.
I love that. Um, so I think we're going to wrap up today's episode. And I hope that you found some peace and comfort
Yes.
during this little bit of a rant. We love you, besties, and we will see you soon.
Bye.